My ex-husband cheated on me and got married to a girl 35 years younger than him. Now, his daughter is bragging about getting pregnant to my kids, and he's thanking me for ruining his family. I, 49F, had an ex-husband, Jake, 53M. We have 3 kids, Kyle, 18F, Carter, 21M, and Knox, 25M. When I was pregnant with Kyle, he was seeing his assistant Abigail behind my back. She was a college freshman, just 18 at the time. Abigail later got pregnant with Lizzie. After I refused to reconcile, Kyle and I got divorced, and he married Abigail. They had 2 more kids together. Kyle pays child support but doesn't spend much time with the kids, only seeing them once a month. He does buy them things if they ask, but only after making sure I haven't already gotten it for them. He rarely attends their sports games or plays, but if his aunts and mom are there, he shows up. His aunts and mom are important lawyers, and he seeks their approval. His family can be judgmental. They look down on people in less prestigious positions, and they don't tolerate gossip, thinking it reflects poorly on the family. In front of his family, Kyle boasts about taking care of the kids, but in reality, he does very little. My kids used to be upset seeing his family's vacations, but they've learned to ignore it. Kyle tells his family the kids didn't want to go on trips, but during a Christmas party, Lizzie mentioned an upcoming trip to the Dominican Republic. Kyle didn't know about the trip and invited the kids to join. I've always been uneasy about my kids being far away with their dad, so I went with them on vacation. Kyle's wife wasn't thrilled, but since I'm still close with his family, it wasn't awkward. At dinner, my daughter and son, Carter, talked about their accomplishments. My daughter got an internship at a tech company, and everyone congratulated her. His mom then asked about Lizzie. My daughter told me that Lizzie had a secret to share, and everyone thought she was going to announce getting into her dream college. Jake's mom was beaming, ready to congratulate her. But Lizzie revealed she's pregnant. Everyone's jaws dropped to the floor, even Jake's. People started questioning Jake and Abigail's parenting. Jake tried to blame it all on Lizzie, saying his parenting was fine because my children turned out successful. I was tired of the lies and spoke up, saying he was only around when his family was there to impress them. They asked if it was true, and he tried to deny it until Kyle spoke up, saying Jake hadn't even invited them on this vacation, and that he lies about everything, being a bad dad. Kyle stormed off, and my sons and I followed. Later, I received a text from Jake, thanking me for ruining his family. I didn't reply. I feel bad because maybe it wasn't the right time or place. If he wasn't so mean, there wouldn't be anything negative to say about him. It's surprising to me when people blame others for their own actions and get upset when others won't lie for them. He made his own problems and now he has to deal with them. Update 1. The main reason I went with my kids is because I'm close friends with Jake's sister, and we've been going on trips together since high school. Plus, I'm always a mom, so I wouldn't want to leave my kids in a situation where I couldn't be there for them. After things got heated, Jake's wife called me, worried that she couldn't find my husband and hoped he wasn't in my room. I assured her he wasn't, and she hung up. Soon after, Abigail barged into my room, yelling about him being there. I let her search because I was confused. When she didn't find him, she just sat on my floor, crying quietly. It was awkward, so I didn't know what to do. I didn't feel right kicking her out, so I asked what was wrong. She explained that for the past 17 years, Jake had been verbally abusive, blaming her and Lizzie for his unhappiness. When she was 18, Jake promised to leave me for her, but whenever she asked when, he'd get angry. So she intentionally got pregnant to keep him. But Jake tried to pay her to get rid of it. When I found out and filed for divorce, he decided to be with her. But every day, he'd insult her, calling her worthless. And he was cheating on her constantly. She stayed because she dropped out of college and hadn't worked since she was 18, when she was at his office. She apologized for barging in and left. I texted Jake to check on his wife because she seemed upset. I didn't get a reply, so I assumed everything was fine and went to bed. The next morning, I woke up to a long text from Jake, but I'll just summarize it. He told me how sorry he was for cheating on our marriage, calling it the biggest mistake he ever made. He regretted not being more involved with me and the kids and hated seeing Lizzie and Abigail every day. He said that's why he worked longer hours, to avoid them, but that affected our kids. He said Abigail finally told me everything, and he was relieved the truth was out so he could escape from them. He hoped I could forgive him after all this time and we could fix our relationship. I told him we didn't need a relationship. I'm remarried, and the kids are grown, so he should focus on repairing his relationship with them. He didn't respond. I explained to my kids that I'd be leaving early but they should enjoy the rest of their trip. Kyle didn't want to stay, but the boys were okay with it. So Kyle and I are back home. I texted the boys to ask how the trip was going. They said it was a mess, and Jake and Abigail weren't talking to each other. You didn't make him look bad, he did that all by himself. He's an ex for a reason, remember that, and keep it that way. Your ex is terrible, and you dodged a huge bullet. It's crazy he thought you'd forgive him after all this. He's awful. He's getting what he deserves. I feel sorry for his wife, but if they cheat with you, they'll cheat on you. I'm happy that you've healed and moved on.